Today we are going to look at an example of a typical afternoon in a middle-class household from the 19th century. Lana and her brothers are being watched by their governess, not a relative, but a woman hired by their parents to take care of them and educate them.
Now, Lana, we have to have a bit more light, don't we? So we must need to light this big lamp.
It wasn't until 1879 that the first electric light bulb was invented, but even then, families used oil lamps well into the 1900s until electricity became more widespread. This type of lamp is not used as a primary source of light throughout most of the world today, but is still used in some countries where electricity is not accessible or is too expensive.
Now, I think we must get on with our sewing, mustn't we?
While the girls practice sewing, the boys are having fun with wooden acrobat squeeze toys, also known as the tricky trapeze toy. Something a bit more challenging for the elder boy is the art of setting up dominoes in an upright position. The actual game of dominoes originally started in the 1300s in China, but is iconically recognised for the fun of knocking them over. Another fun pastime is the spinning top toys that rely on rotational inertia to keep them vertical. These toys date back to antiquity, before the Middle Ages. While the boys are having fun with their games, Lana and Hilda have been busy with their cross-stitching. Cross-stitching is considered a part of the accomplishments category. It is a skill taught that is regarded in high stead as it was deemed a necessity to being a good wife and housekeeper.
I think I've done enough sewing now. How about if we all come and have a song at the piano? Children, would you like to come?
Sure.
Always a good indicator of middle-class standing is owning and playing musical instruments. The piano was a way to bring families together, not only for entertainment and joyful pleasure, but a way to expand knowledge and skills in musical literature, as well as improving the performance of playing well and sounding right.
Well, I think that's enough for the evening. How about if we have a bedtime story? Would you all like that?
Yes.
Let's come over here.
A very important ability that defined a strong middle-class family was the ability to write and read. To be literate was a standout characteristic to have within a community. It has been estimated that over 80% of the world in the 19th century was illiterate. Fortunately for these children, although they are tiring, they are learning the communication skills that will equip them for their future. The nursery time story is now over and it's time to rest.
Children, it's time for our prayers, so if you'd just like to sit down on the floor in front of me, that'd be good. Thank you, God, for looking after us and protecting us. Amen.
Australia in the 1800s was predominantly Christian, and it was common practice to pray for good health and well-being even on cold nights.
Tonight, and I think we might need the bed warmer. Keep your feet warm, so we shall put this in the bed before you get in.
The bed warmer was a precursor to the hot water bottle and the electric blankets that we are familiar with today.
See if this is warming it up for your feet. Yes, that feels good.
Even though the bed warmer oddly looks like a camp frying pan with its big handle, it most definitely had the power to warm up beds with its hot coal fuel source. It was the perfect tool to ensure a good night's rest by warming up those cold bed sheets. Here we conclude our discovery of what it was like to grow up in a middle-class household in the Victorian era. To find out more about the house at the Tree Gully Heritage Museum, talk to one of our experienced guides.